It's the Texas weather discussion video for Friday, the 7th of September. I'm Donovan Neal. North Texas continues to remain unsettled weather for the next few days here, especially today and tomorrow, where we'll have our highest chances of scattered to perhaps widespread showers and thunderstorms during the afternoon and evening hours. And out in the tropics, the Atlantic Basin is the most active it's been since the start of hurricane season. So let's dive in here. Let's take a look at the overall synoptic scale, the upper air look across the nation. You can see where we have a little bit of broad ridging here. The main mid-latitude westerlies, the main storm track remains to the north of us, and again that will help aid in widespread scattered showers and thunderstorms today and tomorrow, combined with a lot of the moisture that we have in place. So speaking about moisture, we have flash flood watches in effect from Arkansas all the way through the Ohio Valley, and even the parts of Virginians and Maryland in the Marylands. But down here in North Texas, and Texas actually, we have flash flood watches in effect for the DFW metro area and points generally to the southeast. Does include Abilene and some areas out in the big country, and again that's because of the anticipated widespread scattered showers and thunderstorms that may lead to localized flash flooding. Let's go on to the convective outlooks. This is a convective outlook for today and tomorrow. And notice how much of Texas is in green for both days, meaning we have a chance of course, numerous showers and thunderstorms, but no organized severe weather is expected. And on day 3, we trend a little bit drier. This is the average rainfall for the next 7 days, valid through Friday morning of next week. Heavier totals basically extend from Little Rock through Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Down here, amounts it ranged from anywhere from a half an inch to around 2 inches or greater for much of North Texas. And again, that's mostly anything that we see today, Saturday, and through the early morning hours of Sunday. I do think most of next week will stay dry. And let's move on to the tropics. The Atlantic Basin, like I said, the Atlantic Basin is the most active it's been since the start of hurricane season. And that's That's expected due to September being the peak month of hurricane season. So we have, of course, remnants of Gordon, and we also have Tropical Storm Florence. We'll get to that in a little bit. And we also have 2 waves that's been in the that's basically emerging out the African coast. We'll focus on the westernmost wave. That's Invest 92L. You can see that this is the GFS ensemble guidance. This is 25 members. You can see that some members bring it towards the Caribbean near the Leeward Islands, impacting that as it moves generally to the northwest. But you can see that most models recurve it to the north, gains latitude, recurves it to the north, not affecting any land masses at all. And that, of course, that would be a good scenario, but the bottom line is it's way too far out to know whether or not this will impact any land masses. But the early intensity guidance brings this to a category 1 hurricane. Most models bring it up to category 1 hurricane during the next 72 hours, and even beyond that brings it up to some models bring it up to major hurricane status, category 3, or perhaps even greater during the next 5 or so days. But again, like I said, it's way too early to know the exact intensity of this thing. But if this becomes a named storm, which will most likely its name will be Helene. So we'll watch this over the next 48 hours, over the course of the day today and tomorrow. So let's focus on Invest 93L. You can see this is basically just emerging off the African coast. Of course, we have a few outliers that want to bring this to the north of the Leeward Islands, but of course, most models and the mean has this recurving out to sea, not impacting any land masses. The early intensity guidance again strengthens to a category 1 hurricane during the next 72 hours, and then basically stays at that point, maybe even to category 2, but beyond that. But again, when this becomes a tropical storm, its name will be Isaac. So we'll continue to watch this wave over the next over the coming days, but more than likely this won't impact the US at all. So let's focus on Florence. And Florence has just been having a horrible time out in the central Atlantic. It's been combating dry air and shear, and it's not having a really good time out in the Atlantic. Maximum sustained winds are at 65 miles an hour. It's still a tropical storm, but it's expected to become a hurricane later in the day and later in the day tomorrow. And it's expected to re-intensify to a major hurricane by early Tuesday morning as it nears the U.S. East Coast. In fact, let's talk about that. This is of course, the GFS ensemble. You can see that some models want to bring it out, have it make landfall somewhere in the mid-Atlantic states, but most models do indeed want to recurve this storm out to the east. But it remains unknown whether or not it'll just recurve out to the east and just go kick off to the northern Atlantic, or if it'll do the loop-de-loop or whatever. But like I said, regardless of whether or not this kicks out to sea or not, the U.S. will experience some dangerous rip currents from this thing, and of course, obviously, you should already begin preparations on if this thing makes landfall. Again, the bottom line is we don't know whether or not this will make landfall or not. This is still way too far out. So it's best to be prepared. More safe than sorry. So let's go on to the model output. This is the 06Z run of the GFS, followed this afternoon at 1 o'clock. You can see that we have weakness in the ridge here. Heights are about where they should be for us. Down here, that looks like a big muggy mess with numerous scattered showers and thunderstorms during the afternoon and evening hours. This is the Texas Tech model reflectivity valid this morning at 10 o'clock. You can see numerous scattered showers and thunderstorms are about in the big country and also in North Texas as well. And those look like heavy showers and thunderstorms. So, of course, flash flooding will be an issue throughout the day. That's why we have the flash flood watch in effect. But this is 1 o'clock today. You can see the bulk of the rain basically enters the metro at this point, and by 8 o'clock that rain basically still lingers on and doesn't really taper until around 9 or 10 o'clock. But again, highs will be in the mid 80s. Highs will only get to the mid 80s due to the coverage of widespread showers and thunderstorms, and will most likely stay wet for most of the day. And I know lots of high school footballs have games today, and like I said, it's not my decision it's not my decision to delay, cancel, or do whatever with those games. But just be prepared for it to continue to rain during the afternoon and evening hours. So let's go on to tomorrow, and again we'll have the same deal of scattered showers and thunderstorms, numerous showers and thunderstorms by the afternoon and evening hours tomorrow. Again, highs will be in the mid 80s. And again, let's go on to Sunday. The frontal system shifts off to the north. We remain dry by the afternoon. Highs will be in the mid 80s. With a mix of sun and clouds. Now this is Monday. That rain completely shifts off to the east. We remain dry. We'll begin to mention a mix of sun and clouds. Highs will be in the upper 80s to low 90s. Same thing on Tuesday, and same thing on Wednesday. You can see Hurricane Florence nearing the United States coast at this point, indicated by the GFS. This is a week from today, Friday, the 14th of September. You can see weakness on the ridge here. Down here, we remain dry with highs mostly in the upper 80s. And you can see that Hurricane Florence is basically nearing the U.S. northeast coast at this point, and it's basically just very far, very, very close. You can see the European model at this point, however, has this landfalling as somewhat of a tropical storm at around the same time, with the circulation center somewhere in West Virginia. And again, this is all just deterministic model output. And you'll just know that there's just no skill in within a specific forecast this far out, and you'll most likely see these model outputs in social media. Just disregard that. Many of you that's been watching us for the past few years know that know that all of this stuff that you see on social media is just to draw attention for likes, clicks, shares, and retweets, and just to scare people as well. So, um, so only get weather information from sources that you always trust. So let's go on to out 10 days. This is Sunday, the 16th of September. You can see we have a little bit of a short wave developing off in the big country, and down here we still stay dry. And you can see Florence is still out meandering in the United States East Coast, but we'll worry about that with time. But you can see for the numbers for the next 15 days coming off the GFS ensemble, highs basically stay in the middle to upper 80s for the next several days with no signs of any big cool downs coming anytime soon. That's it for the Texas weather discussion video for today. I'll run it in the blog. My next video should be posted at around 7 a.m. Monday morning. Jonathan Williams should have the blog updates covered this weekend. If you can, catch your local TV stations on the air at 4, 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. Thanks for watching. Have a great day and a great weekend, and Godspeed.